This is the State of the Saints podcast. It is yours truly, TJ Jones, alongside my big brother on this edition, Mr. EJ Jones. And EJ, we got to talk about something a little bit serious. It still focuses on sports. And I know this is the State of the Saints podcast, but I feel like when situations like this come up, they have to be addressed. We're talking about Kareem Hunt. If you haven't heard, Kareem Hunt has been cut by the Kansas City Chiefs because of a video that has surfaced of him in a domestic dispute with a 19-year-old at a hotel. Now, the Kansas City Chiefs cut Kareem Hunt because they said that even though the situation happened back in February, they asked the running back about it, and he wasn't very honest with them. So the tape that came out did not coincide with the story that he told the Chiefs. So a lot of people are asking, like, what's next for Kareem Hunt? He's only 23 years old. He's an incredible talent in the prime of his career. And when great players or good players get cut, they always ask what's the next move, what team is he going to play for? And the question has been going around, would you want to see Kareem Hunt in a Saints uniform? I'm going to let you go ahead and answer that question first. Would you want to see Kareem Hunt in a Saints uniform?
Yes, I would. I mean, I've seen the video. Like I said, there's nothing audible in the video. There's nothing that it's just nothing audible in the video. All you're watching is this guy trying to break his neck to get to this person. You don't know what this person's saying. You don't know what he did to this person. We don't know what this person did to Kareem Hunt before the video.
Right.
There's a lot of uncertainty going on with it. But yeah, I like to see him with the Saints. I wouldn't mind having Kareem Hunt and Alvin Kamara and Mark Ingram,
Yeah,
all in the backfield or whatever.
well, I mean, I'm kind of on the fence with it. Number one, I just wonder to myself, I'm just conflicted because you look at somebody like Kareem Hunt, an incredible talent. People like Kareem Hunt don't come around all the time. I have done several podcasts where I focus on Alvin Kamara, and I say if Alvin Kamara didn't exist, Kareem Hunt would be talked about much, much more than he does. Alvin Kamara is just so special that you forget about Kareem Hunt. Kareem Hunt led the league in rushing last year, and that's what a lot of people aren't understanding. This guy is a great talent, but the question that I have is, why would the Kansas City Chiefs not investigate this situation fully? Now, I feel like the reason why they didn't investigate this situation fully is because they understood the type of talent that they had. So they looked at it like this. The less they know, the better. So they probably understood what happened, but it's probably one of those things where it says you have plausible deniability. Like if something happens and you're like, okay, I didn't know this, I didn't ask this, so therefore I don't know this. So if something happens, I can just deny it. It's hard for me to believe that the Kansas City Chiefs could not have investigated this situation. Now, we understand the process of the NFL draft, right, E? We understand that these players and these players are basically investigated. I mean, these teams could know if a player stole bubble gum out of store at the age of 9. They know if you threw eggs at that house on Halloween. They investigate you. They interview people around you to see the type of character that you are. So it's hard for me to believe that the Kansas City Chiefs can do all of this to make up their mind to say, we're going to draft Kareem Hunt. And you can't go out here and say, I can't get this footage from this hotel to figure out if I want to move forward with Kareem Hunt or not. It's just hard for me to believe that. But this happened 10 months ago. I think people need to understand this too. It happened 10 months ago. And since then, Kareem Hunt has not gotten in any trouble since then. It's not like one of these Reuben Foster situations. I can understand about Reuben Foster. Reuben Foster has been getting into trouble since he's been at the University of Alabama. You have Alabama teammates who have been talking about the trouble that Reuben Foster has gotten into. This guy constantly comes up, in the news about domestic assault and stuff like that. I can understand why people would be skeptical about him. But I feel like just one bad decision on a bad night does not define a human being. But in a perfect world, it wouldn't. But we all know that we live in a society today where people just have, opinions about absolutely everything. And it's so easy for us to look back and look at a situation and say what we would have done in that situation. And even me and you talked off the air about how people can make you upset. People can make you angry. And it's easy for us to say, oh, I would have did this, I would have did that. But until you face with that situation, you have to say, man, you can't put yourself in another person's shoes. We know that people upset you. They can say things to you in order for you to, for them to generate a response out of you. And you hit the nail on the head when you talk about the audio. I mean, there was no audio. There was no audio played, so we don't know what happened. We're only looking at the action of a person. We don't know what triggered Kareem Hunt. We don't know why he is trying to get to this young lady. There are two stories going out. One said that Kareem Hunt wanted his homeboy to hook up with the girl, and the girl said no. And then there's another story come out said that the girl called him the N-word. We don't know. So it's hard for me to say, should he be a Saint or should he not be a Saint? Because he will be a great addition to the Saints. But at the end of the day, you have to ask yourself, is it worth the scrutiny? Especially when you have two good running backs in Mark Ingram and Alvin Kamara. But let's just say, just for the sake of argument, that the Saints do pick up Kareem Hunt. What do you think he would bring to the team?
Explosiveness, even more explosiveness. We have our wide receivers. You can might as well say Alvin Kamara is like a tweener between a running back and wide receiver.
True.
He'll be the same way.
Yeah.
I mean, he's like right in the middle of Mark Ingram and Alvin Kamara. He could do a lot of the things Alvin Kamara could do, and he could do a lot of the things that Mark Ingram could do.
Right.
I heard you mention earlier. You was talking about redemption. I mean, with that old saying, he without sin cast the first stone.
Oh, absolutely, man.
But I'm like, there's nobody perfect walking this face of the earth.
True.
If Michael Vick could get back into the league and sign $100 million contract after what he did,
yep.
I'm like, who doesn't deserve redemption?
Absolutely.
We live in a video age. Everybody's looking at videos. Anything wrong? We shoot videos and stuff like that. When it's 10 months ago or 5 or 10 years ago, it's new to the public. And so the Chiefs had a knee-jerk reaction in releasing this guy instead of doing their due diligence and research.
Right.
So, but I think he could be a tremendous asset to the Saints and anybody else who will pick him up. So don't get me wrong. Somebody going to get this guy and they're going to pick him up.
Oh, yeah.
First of all, he's young. He doesn't have a big contract. I think he's like 23 if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, he's 23 years old. Yeah.
So somebody will pick him up. He might have to sit, he might have to sit out the rest of this year. But you best believe somebody will pick him up. I see he's on the commissioner's exemptions list.
Yeah.
I don't really know what that means, but somebody's going to pick him up. Trust me. If it's a 1-year deal, a 2-year deal, somebody's going to pick him up.
Well, the commissioner exempt list, it just basically means that a team can pick him up, but he cannot practice. He can't be at the facility. He can be a part of a team, but he won't be a part of a team. That's kind of what it is, to try to protect the league and its integrity. And we all know what this is about, E. The story about Reuben Foster, like you said, knee-jerk reaction. Everybody has something to say about the Redskins. Was this a bad decision? Was this a good decision? Was it beneficial to the team? We know about this, man. And everybody, when something is in the news, and then on top of that, you got people that you have to appease. You got to appease the season ticket holders, the guys that's up there with the luxury boxes, all these big top fat cats that's in your city, sponsors. Exactly. We know how to go, man. We know the game, and we know, we know what was on the Chiefs' mind. I mean, let's just be honest about this. The NFL is all about, it's all about image, man. It's all about image and appeasing the general public. And by the Chiefs getting rid of Kareem Hunt, they felt like this would make the fan base happy, the people that own those luxury boxes and season tickets happy, as well as the NFL. So I guess they look at it like, hey, he'll bounce back, but we got to save face. And then you have Tyreek Hill. Tyreek Hill is another player for the Chiefs. They got into some trouble with domestic violence. So on, so you don't want to have that type of image for your team. Like, oh, they just got a whole bunch of woman beaters on the team. You know how people see things, man. But
Yeah.
Kareem Hunt, like I said, well, like you said, he is going to get picked up by a team, no doubt about it. Probably won't be this year. Probably have to go back to the drawing board, come back. I mean, he has one thing on his side. Once again, he is 23 years old. So, I mean, his future is ahead of him. It's not like how Ray Rice was. Ray Rice was like 27 when this happened, okay? So, I mean, we all know like the lifespan of a running back, according to NFL standards, quote unquote, is like 30 years old. So I guess they look at it like, oh, man, all you got is about 2-3 more years. And not to mention he was coming off a hip injury, at the time. So teams already were kind of skeptical about him then. So
and that's the thing too. That's the thing about the Ray Rice. That's the thing about the Ray Rice incident.
Yeah,
the Ray Rice incident is influencing the Kareem Hunt incident.
Oh yeah.
Now, if you look at these videos, these two videos, which you couldn't hear anything on any of these videos.
Right.
But the Ray Rice incident looks a million times worse than this incident.
Absolutely.
I mean, I don't know how. The video I seen was like a minute and 15 seconds. I don't know if there's a longer one, but that's the one that I seen.
Right.
And this Ray Rice incident, I mean, it was that was. Excuse my language. That guy needed his behind whoop.
Absolutely.
Or whatever. That's not the word I even want to say.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I think everybody know what you meant as well, man. Absolutely. I totally agree, man. No audio on either one of those things, but it's hard for people just to erase what they see. I mean, when you look at something like that, man, knocking a woman out cold. I mean, regardless to that, like look, we talked about this a few minutes ago. People can say things to trigger you, but it should never, ever get to that point. I mean, never, ever. For you to have to knock somebody out cold, man, come on. Like, I understand that love is a powerful drug. I think Shannon Sharp said that on Undisputed a couple days ago. Love is a powerful drug, man. We all been in love, and our heart is man, it's a funny thing, and when you care about somebody so much, I guess, they know how to push your buttons. Say you with somebody long enough, they know how to push your buttons. They know what to say to you, what not to say to you. So at the end of the day, I think that this is a learning experience for everybody in the National Football League. I'm pretty sure teams right now probably after the situation probably had meetings with players and probably said, look here, there's no exception to the rule. Look at Kareem Hunt, So imagine Joe Blow on the team that's just happy that he's got there. And I'm not saying that this player did this. Imagine a Keith Kirkwood or something like that, like, dang, you know what I'm saying? Like, I ain't even lead the league in rushing or receiving, So it's very, very serious, man. It's all a wake-up call for us. But I don't think that we just need to go out here judging everybody, man. Everybody makes mistakes. I just feel sorry for the young man, man. He had to learn this life lesson like this, but I think this sets up a true redemption story. I think he needs to take the time out, go out here, get some counseling, talk to somebody, maybe be an advocate, kind of like what you say with Michael Vick. Michael Vick, he served almost 2 years in prison, but he came back, man. It was a true redemption story. And now you see Michael Vick like on Fox Sports and stuff like that, man. Yep. And you kind of forget that he even did these things, Yep. I mean, you can't forget, but sometimes, the person comes out and they become an upstanding citizen and their life changed so much, it's hard for you to, continuously just look at a person a different way. And I feel like this can be the same reason for Kareem Hunt, because I really just think that he is a good kid. I just think he made a bad decision one night in Cleveland. But this has been the State of the Saints podcast. Once again, thank you, E, for taking a part in the podcast today, man. We're going to have to do this again. And we got to tell some of them stories about, some of them not so good times, make somebody laugh or hear some of those funny stories when we were growing up, about the Saints, man. We got to do this again. Thank you very much, man.
Yeah, a lot of those stories. No problem, man. I had a lot of fun.
Yeah, absolutely.